I am so happy to introduce to you Reverend Amy Garber. She was one of Reverend Ken's students. She is co-owner and co-director of Enlightened Soul Center and Enlightened Soul Expo, whose mission is to spread the light to Southeast Michigan and beyond, providing instruction and experiences in the holistic and intuitive arts. She is a spiritual counselor and has been serving the public with channel readings since the year 2000. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. She is an ordained priest in the order of, what's his name? Melchizedek. I had it close. She also works on past life healing regressions, healing the past as well as the present. We have been honored with her sermons in the fall, but please give Reverend Amy Garber a warm spring welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. All right. I have to set my stopwatch because I could talk. My students know, my classes are 2.5 hours. So anyway, thank you for inviting me. That was so cute when you said, I'm going to have you come in the warmer weather. I'm going to have you come in spring. And yeah, so I'm very grateful to be here. I have to make a confession. I had the title of the talk quite a while ago from Spirit. And then they started telling me recently that I could channel the talk. And I was like, yeah, I could, but I don't know if I should. And I was able to make notes. So I don't know, that might be something if people are open to it that sometime may happen. But when the amount of time opened up for me to actually write down notes, I felt more comfortable with it. So as Reverend Lisa said, planting a seed is the title I was given. And, today is a perfect example of April showers. It's still April. It's April 30th today. April showers bring May flowers, that. But flowers only come up if they've been planted, either returning up from last year, or we purchase fully grown ones and put them in the ground, or they start as a seed. And again, this was so perfect because the discussion we had in my car, I had 3 people with me when we were driving here. What's going on with you lately? And then hearing all about, I'm planting a community garden. And so this theme has just been very upfront today. So my question to you all would be, what are you doing to populate your spiritual garden? What are you sowing now that in the coming months you will reap? I believe that Spirit has a plan for each and every one of us. We have helped to co-create this plan when we're on the other side, preparing for this life. There were some things that we knew had to be in the plan that were vitally important. And there are other things that don't come up until we're here in our earthly incarnation working things out. We're making connections and coming to crossroads, running across people that we were meant to run across. But I know that everything is not set in stone when we come here. Otherwise, what would be the point? We're just going to be carrying out everything without any variation. That doesn't make any sense. We come to the Earth School not to go through the motions, but we come here to learn things. So to make decisions, to try, to fail, to get up and try again. Some things are preordained, perhaps you could say, but they're often set up by us as an opportunity. Like you're destined to cross paths with this person who may become your spouse, but what actually happens is not already determined. So there may be tendencies, likelihoods, possibilities, but not certainties, not so much. This is what So this allows for all parties to have options and to grow, right? What we call free will. So I know this from observing my own life and the countless readings I've done over the years, and from many spiritual philosophies also that embrace the idea of reincarnation, right? There's reasons why we come here to be able to make decisions, and it doesn't mean we fail if there is a situation where we appear to not hit the mark, which actually sin is an archery term that means you're missing the mark. That's really what we're expected to do. That's how we're going to be motivated and grow, right? So what can we control? We're in charge only of ourselves. That's the good news and the bad news. Our own actions and reactions. And that's, again, where planting the seed comes in. We can put out there to the universe what we want and where we want to be. There are many systems and philosophies, as I'm sure you all well know, this audience, about manifesting and the law of attraction and various practices that can be used. But we're here to remind you of the ease with which we can plant these seeds in our lives or the lives of others. We come up with the idea, or Spirit gives it to us. We can decide it, claim it, put it out there. That's like planting it. And then if it's planted, we have to step back and let it go and see if it grows. Let go and let God. This was brought up to me recently. I had a series of recurring illnesses. It was and I know a lot of other people have had the same thing. It was respiratory virus, and it just kept coming back. And the things I usually do to get well seemed like it worked for a little while, but then it came back again. And then at the end of March, I wound up going downhill. And I went to urgent care 3 times, and they didn't really know what to do with me. They didn't really help. And I wound up in the ER, and got admitted to the hospital because by then, whatever was going on had messed up some of my other systems. My heart rhythm was off. For a minute, they thought there was something wrong with my gallbladder, and all kinds of things. I'm fine now, let me just say. But I felt like I'm going to be able to get through this, and they have me on these medications, but I'm going to get off these medications. And a couple people who I trust told me about this naturopath. And I decided, okay, I'm going to go to this guy. He's more than just a naturopath. He's also an MD, but he also is like a psychic medical intuitive, and he does energy work. He does things remotely. And so I just had that appointment with him this week. And the big theme that came out of that was, this is mostly all emotional. That's the good news. That's also the bad news. That means that, okay, it's up to me now to turn this ship around and dig up some of this stuff I planted that I don't want, that doesn't belong there, And the theme of that was, let go and let God. Here's the doctor, standing over me. I'm on the bodywork table because he does all this manipulation. He does muscle testing and hitting, points and all kinds of amazing stuff. And that was the biggest message. And I was crying, bawling my eyes out, because he's right. He's like, you are not responsible for everything. You have to turn over your control to God. And I've heard this many times. I think, well, yeah, but who's going to show up at the center and run the front desk? Okay, you know what? God can do that too. I mean, I can just step back. So that was really a good message that I needed to hear. And I'm sharing that with you guys. And he said, you're going to see immediate changes. And I'm like, ooh, okay, this sounds good. Well, we'll see, I mean, maybe it's like the placebo effect. If he tells me enough of this stuff, I'm going to be like, man, making that happen. I swear not to you. I swear, wait, did I just say it right? I said, I swear to you. I swear not, whatever it is. That was Thursday. Friday, I'm at the center. 2 different people walked in and wanted to help. They're like, one of them wants to be paid and the other one probably will get tuition for her hours, but whatever. I'd already determined that in order for me to function, and I can't do everything, I'm going to manifest whatever is needed to get these other people to be, hired here. This needs to happen. And then these 2 people came off the street in the same day. It was amazing, right? And then other things were happening too about people wanting to do other, I want to run this event and I want to do this event. All these things are happening, kind of like he said,
Amazing.
Yeah, I did not do anything other than still hold that intention that had been planted, because I had some good intentions planted in there too. It's just that I had the mistaken belief that I had to do it all. I don't see anybody else doing it, so I'm doing it. It's like, no, you may not always see, they're there. I used to know this, but you kind of get too big for your britches at one point. And there's a saying that, I can give some of these things to God or spirit, universe, whatever word you want to use. But like some of this is just too big. So I have to take it back. It's like, listen to yourself. Some things are too big for God. Like you're going to have to do them. Right. We got to catch ourselves. It's like, if you were planting seeds, are you going to then go dig them up to see if they're sprouting? No. You let them go, you trust that the power of nature, what we've set in motion, is going to make them come up if they're supposed to. And then we nourish them. All right, I'm going off script. I know what I wrote, so now I'm just riffing. And I know something that's down here. But anyway, so we're, and I say we because I'm working with spirit here, we're here to remind you of the ease with which we can plant these seeds in our lives and then step back and let it go and let it happen. For instance, I got the vision to start my holistic metaphysical center, which is the Center for the Enlightened Soul Center. I'm checking my, a friend, this was in 2013, a friend challenged me. She said, I think you're going to be well known for something, but not your readings. I'm like, thanks a lot. That's not even a left-handed compliment. I don't know what that is. And she said, no, seriously. She said, just close your eyes for a minute and just see, like, do you get an idea of what you're supposed to be doing? I mean, I was working full-time at the University of Michigan. I was running a Sunday group, a couple Sundays a month, a metaphysical meetup group, but and I said, okay, fine. So, and I'm seeing a center, and I'm running a center. And this was in 2013. And I was like, well, that's nice. I did go home and do a longer meditation that night, and I saw more details about the building, and it could be a former school building, like that's a big building, little offices around a lobby. They called them pods, Spirit was saying, but I thought pods were only whales. I don't know what that is. And, gift shop, auditorium, cafeteria, all these things that could be used for different event spaces and things. I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. And I just set that aside. I did not have a conscious intention about that. So, I got the sense of it. The seed was planted really by spirit, with my soul unknowingly participating, because this, as I said, this was not my conscious intention. Set it aside. Obviously, did it grow? Yes, it did. And I have that story on my website. I don't need to tell the rest of it, but over time it became evident, and people would be saying to me, oh, we could rent that building, and oh, we could do this and do that. And so that, I did very little to nourish that seed myself. Okay. I was like pulled into it, but it was there. So we can plant the seed, our intention or wish or goal or dream, by putting it there. And then we can nourish it with positive thoughts and loving intentions, but while stepping back, right, to let nature, AKA spirit, God, universe, what have you, do its thing. And then, as I said, this is where, not taking it back. I sometimes inadvertently plant and create things. And I'm sure we all do this. I'm going to just share with you a couple of years ago. So I have a yard in the back. I don't do a lot with, unfortunately, because it's a nice big corner lot. And, you know, somebody who has a lot of time and really green thumb like Kate could do so much with this. And I keep seeing what could be done. And then, you know, I barely have time. I hired somebody to mow the lawn even. So, but the backyard, it had this slope at the fence. So you couldn't really plant something if they're going to come up sideways. I mean, I wasn't really sure. And I kept visualizing like brick retaining wall, and then you fill that with dirt and compost or whatever, and then it's like a flat flower bed. Every time I looked out the window I just kept seeing it. It wasn't like I was trying to conjure it. I just saw it, kept seeing it. I was like, yeah, I'd like to do that. But then the price of these retaining wall bricks was like really cost prohibitive because I would need a lot of them. And I was like, well, no, maybe they'll go on sale, or maybe I can just do some of it or get part of it. I don't know. You know, I did go as far as to see what they cost. Then one day I was in my front yard and this paper blew across the grass, and I pick it up and I gotta get rid of the garbage. It's a flyer. Somebody was advertising. They wanted to get rid of the retaining wall bricks, and for like $1 each. And I was like, I cannot believe this. I called them up and they're like, oh yeah, that's an old flyer. We still have the bricks. We'll give them to you for like 50 cents each. Then my friend and her husband said, oh, we'll help go get them with our big truck. And this person was just like down the block. And then my neighbor said, oh, I'll get you dirt. You know, Ann Arbor has where you can pick up soil for free, and I'll use my little trailer thingy. So all this just like happened, you know. And I have the nice flower bed with the retaining wall, which is full of weeds right now, sorry, but you know, there are some flowers that are in there somewhere. We'll see what happens this year. I don't know. Yeah, not to make you guys feel too bad about it, but it got done. You know, it was like that idea was planted, and then I didn't say, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to afford this? When's this going to happen? What's going to happen? It just like happened effortlessly, you know? Finally, I just want to mention the importance of planting a seed, not only for ourselves, but in others' lives, because we can do this. People are often shocked to learn that what I do for a living, and it pretty much is my life, it absorbs, you know, all my time. My family's not into any of this. Some of them probably think I'm nuts or crazy or what have you. And, you know, they talk about me in whispers or whatever, you know? But sometimes others of them, they come around, like when something happens, you know, or their friend is like, yeah, I feel like I had a dream about my grandma. Oh, well, I know a medium you can talk to, you know, that's my niece's friend. My niece is like, I don't know, but her friend is into it, you know? So, you know, we may not realize the impact we have on others. Often in readings that I do, Spirit says that we're role models for others. So even if we want somebody's life to improve, or we want something to change, we probably can't help or change them directly, but we can plant a seed by being role models, by walking our talk and living the right way or whatever, you know, be it working on our stress level with meditation. Sorry about me here. Acting on our health goals by doing small things instead of telling the other person in our life, yeah, we need to blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I'm going to do it. And you're going to see how much better it is. Taking short walks, you know, whatever it is can be seen by others in our lives, and actions speak much louder than words. So I know we all have good intentions and want the best for those we care about. So just remember, everything we do, we are planting seeds. And don't dig those seeds up. Let them grow. Thank you.